So as most of us know now, Elphaba recently went on TikTok Live holding a knife to her own throat. After the obvious negative reaction, she decided to take like a week off social media, and now she's back. So as you can see, after literally doing something traumatic and triggering, she's back, better than ever, ready to forgive and forget. And I say forgive because, let's be honest, knowing Elphaba, she'll find a way to make all of this everyone else's fault. She will find a way to blame the people who watched the video.
Me just losing it and everything built up. And I don't know if you feel that vibe where everything builds up inside you and you just lose it. So I ended up in hospital, waited hours in A&E. They gave me a bit, and all they gave me was diazepam, which is like a little tablet to go home. That's what they did.
So it is important to note here that Elphaba has or had been to therapy after that live stream. She claims that she was given diazepam, and as far as I'm aware, this is medication usually used when someone has anxiety. It does have other things that it's used for, but I think in this context, it's safe to assume that it was used for this reason. However, maybe I'm overanalyzing here, but I feel like the general attitude towards our underfunded and overworked NHS is genuinely despicable. And if you do think I am overanalyzing, then maybe this Instagram story will change your mind.
So the NHS won't fucking do anything. I've asked for therapy, I've asked for things, and they fucking can't do a single thing. I said, well, if I go home tonight, I'm going to kill myself. They said, well, we can't do anything. So, like, why am I here then? Why am I here in the first place? What am I doing here?
You're in hospital because you went there. You travelled to the hospital. And again, I just want to serve a reminder that Elphaba was clearly unwell and not in a good headspace when she did that live. Fake or not, clearly there was something going on, but to sit there in a hospital waiting room and act in this way, complaining about the NHS and, well, not exactly quietly either, genuinely throwing a wobbly whilst around people who are literally working shifts from hell to make sure people are okay, you are sat there complaining about their service and then deciding to post it to the public. It just proves what a great person you really are. But in typical Elphaba fashion, it gets worse.
What am I doing here? Well, you can't offer me therapy. You can't offer me a fucking bed. You can't offer me this. So why am I here then in the first place? Oh, you're offering me a care plan and then send me home. Then I'll come back again.
Okay, I think anyone watching knows how just ridiculous this outburst is. I don't really need to add anything to it other than reminding people this is in the hospital. The people working there will be hearing this. But one thing I do wish to talk about is the caption. I originally sent this to my mum and my close friends. I'm choosing this to be public because of how bad the system is. The NHS is massively underfunded. They did nothing but send me home, even though I said I felt this way still if I went home. My anger wasn't directed to anyone personally, it was directed to the system. Again, I'm not sure you can be in that room, possibly a wall away from the very people that you're slagging off, then do a story to say it wasn't aimed at them. And just a reminder, posting this was your idea. This was pre-recorded. You recorded this in the heat of the moment. People can often be forgiven for doing things in the heat of the moment if, you know, you actually show an ounce of remorse and actually show that you give a shit. You had this saved on your phone and allowed it to marinate, but then your decision was, yeah, mint, I'll post that. Honestly, I'll never understand the thought process. However, she does inform us that she has found a way of getting therapy, which, whether you like it or not, is definitely the right thing for her. It's definitely needed, so minor Elphaba dub.
I did go out last night, yes I did. I went out for the first time in a week because fuck it.
And back to reality. This really is vintage Elphaba. A whole week of not going out. I genuinely just said Elphaba dub, and then she goes and does this. She says frick it. You know, just frick it.
You know what I mean?
Completely know what you mean. I love it when I bring up trauma for people and then proceed to wave a weapon around on an app made for kids. We all know exactly what you mean. We've all been there. All jokes aside, this is a disgusting reality. We live in a world where someone with a massive following, someone with a genuine influence over people, someone who can very easily reach thousands of screens at the click of a button, and she will remind you of that. Well, someone like this can do such a thing and then carry on as if nothing happened. So far, her apology is just saying she's annoyed at the NHS and then declaring that she loves the sesh. Honestly, just get in the bin.
Because this app is just absolutely fucking insane, isn't it though? It is Just crazy.
Yeah, and I wonder why. It's almost as if you literally just did something crazy. And here you are tiptoeing around apologising for said crazy thing, which is insane to me. You are the one who has done the insane thing and you're blaming the app. It's like being in jail and looking around you and saying, oh, you lot, you're such lawbreakers, I can't believe it. I can't work out if she's doing this on purpose or not because she'll know the reaction she's going to get. She knows that people will be shocked at this reaction. Well, not really shocked. More disappointed but not surprised. Because she does go on to waffle on a bit about how she only wants positive comments from now on. So, you know, maybe don't wave a knife around on live and then put it to your throat. That's a great start. And seriously, if you want to actually prove that you're taking positive steps, you want to show people that you're turning a new leaf. You know, you want to prove that you're not just saying words because of your public image. Donate to a charity. Do some fundraising. Use your mega big and famous platform that you always bang on about and use it for some good. Raise awareness for support. But maybe hire someone to oversee it though, because we all know what sort of content you like to put out. Because Elphaba working with charities unsupervised sounds like a nightmare.
Thank you so much. I don't want to get in tears because, you know, tears is cringe. It's all that shit. You know, I know the TikTok algorithm now, you know. Crying on live, it's just cringe.
Sorry, crying is cringe. Oh, that's really mental health matters of you, isn't it? You know, for someone trying to paint themselves in a positive light after what happened, you're doing a really shit job of it. You've just said if you show emotion, you'll cringe. That's right, folks. Bottle it up. Keep it all inside. Honestly, how are you this dense? Elphaba is living proof that not everybody deserves a platform. The instant boom of TikTok fame is genuinely a plague. People don't have to put work in at all to build any form of audience on this app. People don't get the progression period where they learn basic do's and don'ts of this sort of thing. You just get thrown into the life that for some reason so many people crave. Now, I'm not saying you need to, you know, have a slow growth to understand what Elphaba did on live is wrong, but there are many things you see where you think maybe if it was a more gradual process to where she is now, maybe these things wouldn't happen. But believe it or not, it genuinely gets worse.
Because this has just made me stronger by a million. And I'm so fucking proud of myself for carrying the fuck on and being a bitch. Because that's how I am. That's how I work.
The dry heave there was fitting, because honestly, watching this reaction, watching her response to everything that's gone on, it's making me feel sick. But yeah, Elphaba, you're so strong. I'm glad that traumatizing kids has made you feel so much stronger. For a moment, I was worried that kids would be traumatized and there would be no silver lining. But here we have it. I knew that scaring underdeveloped brains and traumatizing people was all worth it. So glad that we're here, because you've got so much to be proud of. Triggering everyone affected was a small price to pay to make you feel stronger. Absolute moron. I didn't think it was possible for her to be any more selfish, but you know, genuinely, it is.
And you know what? From now on, we just want calmness now. Let's keep it calm, keep it chill. That's why I've got the main chat off, because for my sake, I'm not having it on for a minute, because who knows what they could say, you know?
Yeah, who knows what they could say. Maybe, like, the truth? Maybe people have seen you seriously affect their loved ones and they want you off the app. People are sick of you repeatedly being a horrible person and getting tons of profit in the process. Then as soon as you get called out for it, it's everyone else's fault. People are just being mean. You can never do any wrong, can you? And TikTok are also to blame for this, by the way. If you continuously fail to punish someone for their behaviour on your app, they will just keep doing it because they're getting away with it. The more controversial she is, the more seen she is. And gifters naturally follow. So let's be honest, that's TikTok's reason for not banning her. They let her crack on because they get a cut of all of the ill-gotten gains. It really is quite sad, isn't it? Creators are able to push the most disgusting things on people and they're gonna earn money in the process. However, I think it's clear that this sort of behaviour, you could probably call it desperation. It's no secret that views are dropping, or were dropping, for Elphaba. But doing things like this does literally keep her spoken about, so people will come back because they want to see when the next meltdown's gonna happen. Because you could tell from the awful comments that she was getting on the live, the ones that are genuinely disgusting, the sort of people telling her to do it or use the knife, they're the sort of people who probably got bored of Elphaba, got bored of watching her lives to find the next meltdown, but they're the ones who probably came back, which is why we saw the numbers go up, and it's quite sad because they want to see her do something really bad. And let's be honest, TikTok breeds these people. Those sorts of people in Elphaba's comments, they are literally everywhere. But then after Elphaba goes on some really weird rant about being yourself, and if you're Elphaba, that should be the last thing you do. You should be someone else, because she needs to change, and fast. Well, she then goes on to deliver a sort of speech that any world leader would be proud of.
So, let's just put everything in the motherfucking past. New era, new hair, new me, therapy sorting out, everything sorting out.
New era. New hair. Guys, she has new hair. How can we complain anymore? Do something wrong? get a haircut. How has no one thought of that before? Do you know how crazy it is that this is an actual conversation? Someone has live streamed themselves with a knife pointed at their own throat, profiting in the process, dragging up trauma for people, and then they've gone, I've got new hair. This is actually real life. Like, yeah, sure, it's good that she's getting therapy. It's definitely the right thing. It's definitely needed. Remarkable that it's all happened so quickly, by the way. I personally know people who have been waiting like over half a year for therapy. But anyway, I always do these videos in some sort of attempt to have an actual outcome. Like, I'm not gonna set up my camera, do all my lighting, edit the video to just make a video chatting shit about someone with no end goal. I will say it clearly, I want this person off this app and then she can go and sort herself out properly, because she's dangerous and problematic. Whilst she has this platform, she is dangerous to anybody watching, whether it's somebody watching who has past trauma or somebody watching who is young and impressionable. Objectively, her influence is dangerous. But then she continues with this cold speech.
Hormones are gonna happen, alright? Everything's gonna happen in its time. Let everything just happen naturally and flow. We're gonna go with the flow. We're gonna go with the flow. We're gonna fucking slay. That's what we're gonna do. So with that note, I love you so much.
Okay, hormones mentioned. Mentioned in a way of saying, yes, the thing you're all moaning about is happening. I don't know when, so shut up for now. That's the way I see it personally. I could be wrong. But in all honesty, I've tried to avoid talking about the hormones and stuff, because things about someone's sexuality, it's got nothing to do with me. But if you do continue to mention things to your audience, then, maybe you should do something about it or address it. But at the same time, and people aren't gonna like this, in general, you can't really apply pressure to things like this. It's down to the person involved. But transitioning as a whole, that is where people are angry. Because Elphaba literally took money from her audience to pay for transitioning. She took the money explicitly for this reason, and it kind of appears like she's not gonna do it. Changing your mind is fine, no one's forcing you to do these things. It's your decision, but you cannot keep hold of that money if you're not going to spend it on the thing that it was raised for. Feel free to give it back if you changed your mind, that's assuming you haven't already spent it, because to do a fundraiser, take the money and not spend the money on the thing that it was supposed to be spent on, well, that's not on. But anyway, live number 2 after the break has actually happened. And it's safe to say that she is definitely over the incident. Yep, back to normal, classic Elphaba. She will never change. The only correct course of action now, based on this, is TikTok to ban her. So do it. Do it now, please. You love doing it to everyone else. But that is about as much Elphaba as I can stand. Also, the camera keeps overheating because it's a very hot day today. So drink your water. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe, completely free. Small channel, helps me out massively. And yeah, cheers. Bye.